Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. Today, we're going to get into something really fascinating to me anyway. The astrological compatibility of Cancer and Leo. We're diving into the emotional depths and also the starry skies, I guess you could say, of this really interesting and complex pairing. And I gotta say, just looking over the material for this deep dive already has me very intrigued.
Oh, this is going to be a good one. You don't see the sun and the moon, astrologically speaking, that is, hooking up every day.
Okay, see, already you're blowing my mind, and we're like 2 minutes in. Can we unpack that a little? I get that Cancer is ruled by the moon, Leo is ruled by the sun, but what's that actually mean when we're talking about, like, compatibility?
Well, just think about it. I mean, the sun and the moon represent these like almost primal forces in our lives, Like the sun, it's bold, it's radiant. We associate that with outward personality, the way we kind of like, express ourselves in the world. And then there's the moon. Now, the moon, that's our inner world, our emotions, intuition, how we process all that kind of stuff.
This is starting to sound like the beginning of, like, an epic love story, or maybe an epic clash of the titans.
Well, maybe a little both. I mean, that's what makes Cancer and Leo so interesting together. You got this push and pull, right? Leo, all about that spotlight.
Yeah.
Ruled by the sun, loves the attention, admiration, all that jazz. And Cancer, well, they're looking for emotional security, intimacy, a sense of belonging. That's more their style, that moon influence.
Okay, so maybe not two peas in a pod exactly. More like fireworks on the 4th of July.
Something like that. And yeah, that can mean some, shall we say, sparks. But here's the thing. Sparks, fireworks, doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. These differences can be a huge part of the attraction.
Right, because, like, Leo's going to be drawn to Cancer's strength, that nurturing side.
Oh, absolutely. And Cancer. Probably charmed by Leo's confidence, that zest for life.
Totally.
Classic opposites attract situation.
Yeah.
Thing is, making it last, that takes more than just the initial boom, It's about figuring out how to work with those differences so both partners, they feel seen, understood, and, hey, loved at the end of the day. That's what we all want, right?
So how do these like celestial star-crossed lovers even begin to think about something as, I don't know, essential as intimacy?
This is where you got to understand how each of these signs talks about emotions. Like, think about it, Leo. Big gestures. Yeah. Passionate, like, declarations. They want you to know they love you. Can't miss it.
Makes sense.
Now, with Cancer, it's different. They're expressing affection more through those, like, quieter acts of service, heartfelt conversations. It's about warmth, security, building that kind of connection.
Wow, okay. Yeah, that is a pretty big contrast. I can see how things could get, like, lost in translation. It's like that part in the text where they compare it to, like, a lion and a roe deer.
Yeah, powerful imagery, right? You really get a sense of how important it is to, I don't know, appreciate how differently they approach connecting. Because if a Cancer-Leo relationship is really going to work, they got to learn each other's, like, love languages. Got to speak the same language, even if it's coming from totally different places.
So it's less about, like, trying to change who you are and more about figuring out how to dance together, even if you got different moves, right? But it's not all about intimacy. What happens when Leo's out there loving the limelight and Cancer needs that, safe haven? How's that work?
Oh, yeah. The sun wanting to shine out, the moon seeking that comfort inside. That is where it gets interesting. See, people, they misunderstand Leo a lot, I think. They see that need for attention and they think, oh, superficial or self-centered.
Yeah, I could see how that wouldn't sit well with a Cancer, not one bit.
Exactly. But here's the thing. For Leo, expressing themselves, putting it all out there, that's as natural as breathing. It's not about needing other people to tell them they're great, though they don't mind that either. It's more like they just have to share that light.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. So, like, how does a Cancer deal with that? Because they're all about that deep connection.
Communication is key, always, but on like a whole other level than just, hey, how was your day? Remember that bit in the text talking about the conscious and the subconscious mind?
I do, yeah.
So think of Leo like the sun,
Yeah.
okay? Illuminating everything, big personality. And Cancer, they're like the moon, picking up on these subtle currents underneath.
Wow, okay, that's quite the image.
Right, and just like the sun and moon affect the tides, their communication, it kind of ebbs and flows. Like, imagine this. Leo's got a new project, super excited, telling Cancer all about it. Cancer, they might get a little hesitant, express some concern, not to rain on Leo's parade, but they're sensing stuff, the what ifs.
And that's where the miscommunication comes in, right?
Bingo. Leo hears, you don't support me. Cancer's feeling steamrolled. But if both of them can just take a second, see the other side, that difference becomes a strength.
So less head-on collision, more like a dance they gotta learn.
Exactly. Leo gets that grounding from Cancer, that emotional intelligence. Cancer gets inspired by Leo's optimism, that courage. It's finding that sweet spot, right, where each one lifts the other up. The text made a point about how that plays out in their emotional connection too, really beautifully.
I was surprised by that, I'll be honest. With all these differences, can they really find love that lasts?
Well, it's a journey, not always a smooth one, but the potential's huge EE. Don't forget, Cancer wants that security, that deep intimacy. Nurturing, heartfelt talks, making them feel like home, that's their love language. And then there's Leo with the grand gestures, all the passion, wanting to shower their person with love. Everyone knows it.
Spot on. Might seem like they're miles apart, but it comes down to the same thing. Wanting to love and be loved fully. The trick is they gotta learn to read each other's language, recognize it for what it is.
It's kind of mind-blowing, how you can have these two people expressing love in such different ways, but they both just want that deep connection at the heart of it. But relationships, they aren't always like sunshine and roses, are they? So when those inevitable bumps come up, how do Cancer and Leo with their different values, how do they handle that?
$1 million question right there.
Yeah.
And you hit the nail on the head. Values are huge EE. The text talked about how for Cancer, it's all about home, family, feeling emotionally secure. Like those cozy, nesting vibes. Whereas Leo's like adventure, self-expression, let's make a splash.
Exactly. So you can see the clash coming, right? Cancer's thinking quiet night in, Leo's got a social calendar book solid, or saving for a house versus let's go on that trip, make memories.
Like they're speaking two completely different languages, seriously.
In a way, they kind of are. But here's the thing that I find so fascinating. It's not an automatic deal breaker. These differences, they can make the relationship stronger if, big if, both people are willing to bend a little, find that common ground.
So how do they even start to bridge that gap? It seems huge.
Communication, always. And a willingness to walk in each other's shoes a bit. Like Leo might have to be more aware of Cancer's need to recharge, build in those quiet nights.
Yeah.
And Cancer, time to step outside that comfort zone a little, get down with some of Leo's spontaneity.
Finding that balance point where both feel good, even if it means stretching a little.
You got it. It's like
Yes.
learning a new dance together. First few times,
Yeah.
it's going to be awkward, right?
Right.
But keep at it, talk it out. They find a rhythm that works for both. It reminded me of that funny bit in the text about Leo loving sleep, being pampered the whole 9 yards.
Oh, yeah. Like how Cancer just naturally wants to take care of people, and Leo's not opposed to a little spoiling.
Exactly. It's seeing how those things that seem like opposites, they actually fit together beautifully. Cancer loves making that cozy nest, and Leo, they come home to it, feeling appreciated, recharged, and in return, Leo brings the excitement, the adventure into Cancer's world.
It's like those puzzle pieces, You'd never think they go together, and then bam, beautiful picture.
Perfect analogy. And, we've learned so much about Cancer, Leo, but here's the thing to remember. Astrology, it gives us clues, right? But we choose how we act in our relationships.
So it's not like our destiny set in stone by the stars.
Not at all. It's more like we take this knowledge, understand ourselves and our partner better, and then we build from there. That's where the magic happens.
This deep dive has been so eye-opening. I feel like I've got a whole new take on Cancer Leo now. Thank you, seriously, for all this.
Happy to do it.
And to everyone listening, we hope this got you thinking about your own relationships, whether you're knee-deep in the zodiac or not. Remember, it's those unique things about each person that, if you handle them right, those become the foundation for something amazing. So until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep with us.